Hello and welcome to Queendom TV, and today I'm going to be talking about another random topic that I really wanted to make a video about, which is my problem with electric cars and why I think the more electric cars are becoming, the more problematic they're going to be becoming as well. Now, I will just say from the offset, I don't necessarily have an issue like with having automatic cars and stuff like that. Obviously, like places in the US, that's a lot more common that people have, an automatic car than people do over here in the United Kingdom. However, my issue with the electricity in cars and cars becoming more and more electric is there are many issues, but I'm going to just go straight for the jugular. If you guys remember before, Alexa started off as this lovely, helpful electronic device that you could talk to, that can play your music, that you can set an alarm with, that you can do a whole bunch of things with. And then fast forward, all of a sudden, Alexa became admissible in court. Now, the thing is, guys, about our lives is that I don't believe life was ever meant to be we were never meant to be as reliant on outside sources for so many things as we are now. And I think because we've become like that, we're shifting the control and the power we have over our lives to other people, and we are completely losing our independence. The reason why I have an issue with electric cars is because I feel like the more electric it becomes, the more control people can have over you. When you have a mechanical car that works from mechanics and you can hear everything that's happening because you're changing the gear and you're pushing the clutch and you're doing all of this, there's more you can work with because you are in control of the actual machinery of the car itself. Now, when it comes to a lot of these electric cars, what I'm concerned about is when people start saying, oh, well, this so-and-so and so-and-so is happening, so now we need to help drivers to do this because we've now created a technology that helps drivers drive better and that helps drivers do this. Oh, now you can talk on the phone in your car. Now you can do this in your car. And so it's all of these different things that, yes, might sound nice to the outside world. I do think a lot of these things are making people bad drivers. I do think it's becoming easier and easier for people to pass their driving test in a sense because we're having less and less responsibility to actually know how to drive, especially with, in-car cameras and all these different things, which again, I'm not necessarily saying are bad things, but I'm just saying it's this reliance on technology and reliance on something else. As soon as you rely on something, that thing can kind of have power over you. And because we're becoming more and more reliant on electricity and everything like that, I feel like it's going to be very easy for all of a sudden, they're going to say, well, because of the hate crimes and because of this going on in the world, we have to listen. We are now officially listening to all of your calls in your cars and all of your correspondence and the conversations you're having in the car. Because bearing in mind, guys, whether you're awake or not, and if you're not, then maybe this video will help you to wake up. People are purposely trying to gain information about us on purpose. This is why data and the GDPR and all of this stuff has become so important, because people are on purpose trying to get all of your information. Your information can be sold online as well, and obviously when it's in a marketing sense, that's almost the one that we worry about less, because it just means that, yeah, you might be seeing more things that you might actually genuinely be interested in. And for a lot of people, in a lot of ways, that might be seen as a positive. Fine. Where I have the problem is that data still exists somewhere and is still deliverable to somebody else. So a lot of our information nowadays, if you think about it, if you think about even just your mobile phone, now you've got your card can tell you exactly where you went shopping, because now this is how good technology is. Where you went shopping, what you bought, save your money for you, tell you how much you've been spending. It's your same phone is the same place where you order stuff on Amazon, is the same place where you're messaging all your best friends and your mum, and you're FaceTiming whoever. So much of our life is coming on there, onto our phones and onto technology. That technology is gaining so much information and power that I think we vastly underestimate how well, if the powers of the world wanted to, could actually just pull all of your data all of a sudden, if they wanted to, for something, especially if, and this is all it takes, because remember, guys, now that we've all bought into this social action hype, and now that we've all bought into the, oh my gosh, let's panic because this and this is happening and is affecting these people and affecting these people, and now this is considered, now just having an opinion is considered a hate crime half the time. These are going to be the things they're going to use to say, well, oh, we know that so-and-so drives this car and it's an electric car, and because they have been hate criming. We want to make sure that they're never speaking any of these hate crimes. And when I say hate crimes, a hate crime could be, as in this day and age, could be saying, oh, climate change isn't real, or the issues of climate change aren't real. Or another hate crime in this day and age could be saying, you know, I don't think that being, I don't know, being changing your gender is natural. These are just ideas that I'm throwing out there, that in this day and age, although they are just somebody's opinions and beliefs and do not suggest hatred towards anybody else or even a change for anybody else's life in having those opinions, these things are slowly becoming considered hate speech. You know, even when it came down to like this whole Israel-Palestine situation that took place, a lot of people were just quick to take the side of what the media was talking about and not really doing their own research. So again, if you are in that scenario and you've done your own research and you don't agree with what the media is saying, all of a sudden are you going to be considered somebody doing a hate crime? Because we have done this, and because we've now become a society that's decided we want to shut down all of the thoughts and opinions of people who are not believing or thinking the way that we are, or what we think is fair, even when those thoughts and opinions, like I said, are not actually hurting anybody. They're not stopping anybody else from living their life, and they are not being, you know, hateful towards those individuals. Although this day, like I said, in this day and age, you can't get away from that. People are just going to assume you hate something if you disagree with it, which is very annoying. So that's why I'm concerned about all this car stuff and all how electric it's becoming. Because what if the government decides, oh, because we're shutting down all the cars? Like, I mean, over here, and the reason why I started to make this video is because I discovered that there's a couple who lives in the UK who now gets charged like £12.50 as soon as they turn left off of their driveway, and it's because they've crossed this ULEZ zone, which now all the laws for what kind of cars you can have and which cars are going to be charged, all of that is changing in the United Kingdom. And I think this is all a part of it. I think it's part of this big plot, because we're moving away from mechanical cars where you're in control of what you're doing and you're in control of making sure you can see what's going on. And I think there's a lot to be said for just the fact that a human is leading something. There's a reason why in this day and age we still have human beings flying planes, even if they use autopilot, even if they do whatever. There are certain phases of flight that can only be done by a person. There are certain issues that go on with the plane can only be dealt with by a human being. And so even just from that standpoint, I don't like the idea of electric cars and everything. But more so, I'm just wondering, how are they going to use this as another form of control? How are they now going to be tracking probably where people are going? Because as time goes on, they're gaining more and more information that they can use against you. So now they're hearing everything that you're doing because you have Alexa. They're seeing everything that you're doing on your phone and on your laptop. They're all connected together. They're all synced. Your passwords are all this and you're all that. And now on top of it, your phone is electronic, and you can plug your phone in, and your car can now connect to all of this stuff. With all of these things that we're doing, they're sending you these 30-page long terms and conditions, yeah, which at this point, and a lot of people talk about this, and this is something that's not spoken about enough. If you agree to something in terms and conditions, you really can't be sad on the other side of what happens because you chose to sign it. It doesn't matter whether you read it or not. And I think because people know people are not reading this stuff, you'll be surprised to what some of the things you've agreed to. And somebody was pointing out that on a certain app, I can't remember which app it was, but it's a very popular one, that if you're using a certain app, you've already, like, as part of their terms and conditions, you said you're happy for them to sell your data to third party, like marketing people and all of that kind of thing. So again, these things are already happening. So now you're connecting your phone, now you're being tracked. So now can you see how very quickly we're moving closer and closer to where people can track absolutely everything that you're doing? And I don't believe life was ever been made to live that way. I don't believe that was ever, you know, even God's will for us as human beings, that us individual human beings would know every single thing that everybody's doing, because we have our individual lives. You're supposed to have privacy. It's supposed to be a part of safety in life. Nowadays, the more time's going on, I'm just concerned. I feel like at any moment, someone's going to show up and be like, oh, we saw that you Googled 9/11 and we're concerned that you're a terrorist. It's like, how is that possible nowadays? But these are the kinds of things that are going to be happening, you know. Or they're going to say, we saw you drove to so-and-so and so-and-so, which is a known, like, especially for someone like me who's Christian, like, oh, we've seen you, we drive to church 3 times a week, and we think that's scary, we think that's a hate crime because the Bible is this and that. Because this is the thing, these are the things that people say. And a lot of people are gonna maybe listen to this video and be like, she's just gone mad, and that's fine. I respect y'all the same. But a lot of you are gonna realize that a lot of the things that have happened in this world the way they are now, it's because things happen slowly. And I talk about this all the time, about how, like, you know, the enemy or just evil powers in this world work is by, it's not by just one big thing overnight. It's not overnight all of a sudden that Alexa was admissible in court, and now we're realizing that that is something that people are using. It's slowly but surely little changes happen over time, and they just creep, and it just creeps up on you, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a situation you never thought you were going to be in, and you're like, whoa, how did we get here? And so that's why I'm talking about this now. When we're moving towards with the cars and all this electric stuff, I'm very not a fan of it, if I'm being totally honest. I'm not a fan. I'm concerned as to how it's going to backfire on us in the future. And in fact, personally, I'll be doing my very best to continue with mechanical cars in the future. So yeah, love to hear you guys' thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you've enjoyed the video. I would really appreciate that, guys, if you do want to subscribe, and obviously hit the like button as well. Other than that, God bless you all, and I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.